Hello, happy people. I hope you're having a great day today. Today, I've got something really fun for you. It's the short story Arena set in the science fiction genre by Frederic Brown. It was published in 1944 during the pulp era. And it's in my collection of the Best of Science Fiction Hall of Fame by the Science Fiction Writers of America. They basically took all the science fiction short stories that were really strong stuff and really sort of, created the genres and were king and some of the best stuff during the pulp era, during the time before it started. Today, the Science Fiction Writers of America, which are sort of the professional group, put together an annual award called the Nebula Awards that shows the best science fiction, the best novels, the best movies, and all those sorts of things. And so they put together their own awards ceremony each year, and they've been doing it since the mid-60s. And so basically this short story collection has all the best short stories in the genre according to the writers, and who obviously love their craft, love the genre, and that sort of a thing. So that's where Frederic Brown comes from. Now, Frederic Brown is also on the Appendix N by Gary Gygax, which is mentioned in 1979's Dungeon Master's Guide for his first edition D&D, which lists all the influences on him. So this author is actually listed by Gary Gygax as one of his big influences when he was creating Dungeons & Dragons, and also a place to go to for inspiration. So it's not just a reference check, here's where I got my stuff, but it's also, those sorts of things are coming from it too. So it's a lot of fun. And so Frederic Brown is also mentioned in the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. So I think it's interesting to take a look at this short story, which is highly regarded by science fiction fans and by an author who's got some chops in the influences of his Dungeons & Dragons and through Dungeons & Dragons Modern Fantasy, which is heavily influenced by it. So let's take a look at Arena. Now, in this book, which is oversized, the Arena reprint, it was about 25 pages long. It took me about an hour for me to knock it out last night since it's oversized. It took me probably about roughly 2 minutes a page, but I finished it probably about 55 minutes, roughly, rather than a full hour of reading last night. But it was a lot of fun. I knocked it out and I really enjoyed it. Now, I read this collection when I first got it, in like 2008, but I didn't really remember it that much. I remember reading it, but I wanted to go back and reread it for this channel. Now, in the first couple of pages, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. This is really good. It reminds me of an episode in Star Trek, the original series, which has a battle between a lizard-like creature and Captain Kirk on this planet, and they're battling, and ultimately Captain Kirk will win because he's able to outsmart the very powerful lizard-like humanoid creature and create gunpowder. And that episode influences, I think, a lot of things in this. I think takes some influences from this 1944 short story, Arena, by Frederic Brown. What we're going to find out in the first few pages is that Earth is at war with this alien race called the Outsiders that come from far outside which they are calling the Outsiders, which come from far outside the solar system after they've colonized things, and this is in the future. And a massive invasion fleet has arrived in the queue, and they are bringing their stuff, and they're bringing their A game, if you will. And so they're bringing up all their power and all the sorts of things, and they brought their massive fleet, and Earth has also brought their massive fleet. And the Earth scientists think there's probably a coin flip as to who's going to win. They're roughly equal, and the Scouts agree. They think it's probably roughly equal which of these massive powers is going to win. So then what happens is one individual from each fleet is brought to this planet where they're both uncomfortable and both put out of sorts, and both have the same resources, and they're going to kill each other. They're in a battle, and whoever wins this battle, the other side of the other fleet will be destroyed by this alien. So they'll win and they won't lose anything. And that's basically the setup and the story. It's a fight on an alien planet in uncomfortable conditions by both him and a representative from the other countries. And the winner of this gladiatorial combat will win the war, and not just barely or a little bit or a Pyrrhic victory, right? They'll actually decimate the foe. And that's the original sort of story. It's very interesting. It's definitely, again, it feels like that episode from Star Trek, the original series, in some key ways. And then that's it. And of course, our human antagonist has some disadvantages against the alien that let that outsmart. And then that's it. That's the story for you. It's called Arena by Frederic Brown for you. He's on the Appendix N. Have you read Arena? What did you think of it? I'd be more than happy to talk with you about it further in the comments below, whatever your take is of it. I'm giving it probably an 8 out of 10 because it's definitely well read, well regarded, and it's well written, and it was definitely something that I really enjoyed reading for a second time last night. But if you think it's different, then go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, why not hit that subscribe button? Because there'll be a lot more of these to follow in fantasy, science fiction, and horror. And then finally, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.